We still have a couple of months before the NBA hands out its regular season awards, which is kind of nuts. So I'm joined by the crossovers, Rohan Nadkarni, to give them out when people are still talking about them. Now we get to Defensive Player of the Year. Who's your pick there?
This is another just very tough field. I'm going with Rudy Gobert here, and I think immediately people will say, hey, Gobert, he missed so many games this season. Here's the reason why. The Jazz were, 9, 10 games under 500. They looked like they were headed to the bottom of the lottery. They vaulted back up into the top half of the West. And as great as Donovan Mitchell has been, Gobert has been their best player. His impact when he's on the court is incredible. The Jazz have a great record when he's actually playing. And if you just watch a Utah Jazz game, there are stretches, 5-6 minutes for a quarter, where Gobert just takes over defensively in a way that I'm not sure any other player in the league, besides maybe Draymond Green or Kawhi Leonard, is capable of. You're not seeing that a lot from the center position anymore. He can just dominate a game defensively, single-handedly deterring teams from even thinking about coming into the paint. I think he is not the obvious pick, but a good choice.
I see you channeling your Gobert because you're playing defense on me before I can even make the point, talking about him missing all the games. My instinct said Rudy Gobert as well. I want to reward the Jazz for their team record, and he's been the biggest reason for that. But I'm a hypocrite if I do, because he's missed so much of the season. He's basically played a lockout season. How can someone be, in an MVP conversation most valuable when they miss over a quarter of the season? I think the same thing would go for defensive player. Even if there's an inferior defensive player, their value has to be greater on that side of the ball if they're playing almost every game rather than missing that much time.
I would generally agree with that. I just think this season Gobert has been that impactful. The gap between him and the next guy, whether it's Al Horford, whoever you want to say, has been that large. Rudy Gobert, when the Jazz didn't have him, looked like one of the worst teams in the league. With him back, they've outpaced teams like the Thunder, the T-Wolves, all these teams who have all these great players who loaded up in the offseason. And I think Gobert deserves the award for
What's
that.
the award for Al Horford? We need to give him one. Like, it needs to be named after him, the nondescript good player of the year,
like
right?
The very good Eastern Conference player of the year, something like that, yeah.